are the best budget Yu-Gi-Oh decks post Duelist Nexus. What's going on with ya, big dog? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that's your day. Phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. As you should already know, it is another week of kicking rheumatoid arthritis' ass. And budgeting Yu-Gi-Oh cards should be an essential to everyone that wants to be in the game. In this video, I'm gonna be helping you with your budget just a little bit. I'm gonna suggest to you some decks that you can be playing on a budget of $100. Everybody will love it, especially your mom. It'll show just a little bit more maturity and the fact that you know how to budget things. Mommy, look, I can budget now. You are 40 years old. Budget yourself out of the basement. Ironically, Duelist Nexus brings a ton of budget decks to the table, and that's where we start with my first budget Yu-Gi-Oh strategy. The Chimera Illusion deck was easily one of the most fun decks in Duelist Nexus, being able to use Gazelle, the king of mythical beast, and Berferment. Extremely old Yu-Gi-Oh cards inside of your deck was really fun, but also being able to mix it with some new school cards and fusion summon with Guardian Chimera to destroy your opponent's cards and draw cards. My guy, I'm always looking for a pot of greed. Easily one of the most busted cards for the deck outside of Guardian Chimera was the way to fusion summon it in Chimera Fusion. Being able to fusion summon on both players' turns and then continuously add it to the hand was crazy. But what I really liked the most about this deck was its interchangeability. I just so happened to play the build on the channel, so you can go ahead and check out and see how the deck works, but it's not the only way to play it. Branded players in the back doing a Birdman hand rub. Because the illusion cards are technically more support for them, especially if you're a budget player that just so happened to pick up the 3 structure deck Albaz and don't really want to play anything else. Now, I really like how Konami preemptively reprinted Guardian Chimera in Maze of Memories to prevent one of its most potentially expensive cards from skyrocketing in price way out of budget players' ranges, kind of like what they did with Infernoble in Amazing Defenders. Kinda. I mean, sure, we got some great reprints like Infernoble Knight Renaud, Isol 2 Tells of the Noble Knight, Phoenix Gearfried, and we also got one of the most important cards, Infernoble Arms Durandal. Only pulling the sword out of the stone makes you a true king. What'd you expect? I'm American. Now to teach him to never bring a sword to a gunfight. The only unfortunate thing is that Konami didn't reprint one of the most important cards for the strategy in Heritage of the Chalice, but even now the price is starting to settle down a bit, and this deck still makes under the $100 price tag. Infernoble Knight is a crazy fun combo Yu-Gi-Oh deck built on being able to make some insane Yu-Gi-Oh boards, but the good news for a budget Yu-Gi-Oh player is that these new boards can be made pretty cheaply. What I like the most about Infernoble is not only being able to snipe your opponent's hand using cards like Neo Space Connector and Neo Space Aqua Dolphin, but it's also the new Emperor Charles the Great, which actually makes it an Infernoble Yu-Gi-Oh deck, because now the deck is actually reliant on Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles instead of some trash Smoke Grenade of the Thief Law. Now, I do think that there's some other really strong decks that you should be picking up that didn't get any support in Duelist Nexus. Take, for example, Gold Pride Punk is still ridiculously strong right now, and because of Battles of Legends Monsters Revenge, it got some pretty significant reprints. My guy, Deer Note, Foxy Tune, Amazing Dragon, sheesh. And also because players are looking towards the newer cards in Duelist Nexus, the Gold Pride monsters kind of got thrown to the wayside or are incredibly cheap. My guy, Fake Jinzo is only $4. It's only $4. I guess you could say we're rolling and bowling. What I like about Gold Pride Punk the most is that hand traps are expected to be really powerful. Well, not only can your Gold Pride cards dodge hand traps through their quick effects on your opponent's turn, you also have the ability to keep drawing into your hand traps by using your Punk Field spell. Jam Dragon Drive also searches Ghost Ogre. Not sure if that's important, but it's still there. Also, being able to navigate through negations is really important, and Gold Pride Pinballer allows you to be able to attach your opponent's monsters, getting rid of their cards, and preventing your opponent from negating the activation of this card. And then there's also Amazing Dragon, and the cool thing about both of these cards is that you can summon them during your opponent's turn. It's the sheer versatility of this deck that does it for me. Plus, we already know one thing is not going to be giving this hot boy summer is broke vibes. We high roller pinballing over here. And she still found out it's giving broke. Well, damn. We tried. No matter how many secret rare cards from Battles of Legends we gave her, it ain't work. Now, in last week's tier list, I did say Altergeist had mad potential. And the reason is pretty simple. This deck actually has some crazy ass Yu-Gi-Oh combos now, but my concerns was I didn't want it to be like Teller Knight, a control deck that got combos and then forgot how to control the game. My guys, I don't think that happened. If anything, Altergeist became way more consistent at being able to put up disruptions, and the benefit is that cards like Evenly Matched do not work against this deck. It also gives you a different type of feel from Labyrinth and Trap Tricks, as it is a deck that does play trap cards, but the counter trap cards are its forte, because cards like Solemn Strike and Solemn Warning can still trigger your Altergeist Multi-Faker effect. And Big Dog, if you ever put it with the Amazement cards, just put it with the Amazement cards. Try it with the Amazement cards, please. Please, just one time. My favorite cards that Altergeist did get is Altergeist Malwis. I mean, this card is... Hey, yo, I did say if it got a tail, it's getting nailed, but I might make an exception for this card. Don't judge me, I know your search history. Malwis actually does take the deck to an entirely different level, allowing you to gain full advantage of your Altergeist Link monsters, and even Altergeist Adamantia is crazy good too. I'm still unsure if we'll see Altergeist consistently at the top tables, but one thing I do know for sure is that his deck is incredibly cheap. Some of the most expensive cards are literally only dollars if you don't look at the pre-sales, and that the deck does have the right tools to be able to compete and possibly on any level. Only time will tell. And lastly, if I had to pick another deck that actually showed up really well when testing, for budget Yu-Gi-Oh players, it easily has to go to Trap Tricks. No. This isn't like a stick up or anything. Nobody has a gun to my head. Trap Tricks players haven't found out my address, came into my house and put me at gunpoint, telling me to tell you what's a good deck. But one thing that I did notice through testing is players are playing a lot more hand traps that Trap Tricks can easily dodge. Cards like Infinite Impermanence do nothing to the Trap Tricks extra deck monsters, and while some players may have forgotten, Trap Tricks actually did get new support from Duelist Nexus. I mean, if Pearly genuinely does see its potential, Wipeout Trap Hole might be an actually good card. Being able to get rid of almost any monster that they summon to the side of the field, this could also be good against synchro heavy decks, as most tuner monsters do not have a very high attack. But even if players don't decide to use that particular card, there's still others like Floodgate Trap Hole, a card that should be read at some point in time. Book of Moon's good? Well, the card's Book of Moon on drugs. All of that and seeing that Trap Tricks only takes 3 structure decks to be able to put together, I think that it has a solid chance in Yu-Gi-Oh right now and definitely should be looked at as one of the better budget decks in the game. And that's all that I have for what I think are the best budget Yu-Gi-Oh decks in the entire game. I know that you guys think that I've missed some. Strategies like Nermalia or Rika are always on my mind, so go ahead and let me know down below in the comment section what are some other strategies you want me to talk about. We'll probably hit them up on the tier list that's coming up. And have no fear, my Patreon members, for the people that are wondering, yes, I will be putting up updated budget versions of these decks as a special thank you for helping me pay my editors. And of course, Big Dog, if you want to see more amazing content like this, then be sure to check out these other videos. And until then, I'll catch you on the next one.